Hello and welcome to SMACT TechCast series, where the flavor is always Oracle. My name is Peter Katrubis. I'll be your host for Discovering Oracle Fusion Data Intelligence. Our agenda for this discussion is a quick corporate overview. Then we're going to look at the FDI components and content. Then we're going to walk through the implementation steps, discuss custom content, and some conclusions. The learning objectives for today is for you to take away an understanding of what Oracle products serve as the basis for FDI, then understanding what is delivered pre-built with FDI, or we're going to explore the content, understanding how FDI is deployed with Oracle Fusion applications, and then how it's extended beyond Oracle Cloud applications. SMACT was founded in 2013 as a pure-play Oracle Cloud consultancy. We're proud to boast over 150 of our own directly employed Oracle specialists, and we maintain an Oracle Center of Excellence and Innovation in our corporate office in Dublin, Ohio. Our certifications include Oracle Cloud Certified Partner, ISO 9001 and 27001, which really speak to a commitment to process and creating sustainable and repeatable solutions for our clients. Our accomplishments include Inc. 5000 Fastest Growing Company, 21, 22, and 24, and also Columbus Top Fast 50 and #1 in IT services in that group. We're an MBE, an SBA certified organization, and our guiding principles are excellence, integrity, and growth. Our focus in technology starts with cloud applications, both Fusion applications and then the Oracle tech stack, starting with Oracle Cloud Infrastructure and extending into Identity Cloud Services and Integration Cloud Services, and also with all of the data warehousing and analytic products and Oracle EPM. We do have some specialization in legacy PeopleSoft and Oracle eBusiness and have a lot of experience transitioning companies from legacy on-prem to cloud. Now, looking at FDI components, the Fusion Analytics Warehouse was one of the former names. Then it was also referred to as the Oracle Analytics for Applications. And the most current name and the final name is Fusion Data Intelligence. So you may see some other names out there, primarily FAW still will pervade through some of the architecture diagrams, but the product should be referenced as Fusion Data Intelligence. It consists of Oracle Cloud Infrastructure with Identity and Access Management, the Fusion Warehouse Console, which is what we're going to be looking at today also, then the data pipeline infrastructure, how the data comes over to the data warehouse, and then we're going to look at ADW and also Oracle Analytics Cloud as a part of that package. It's got ready-to-use components. These are all managed by Oracle. Oracle used these components to pre-build this data warehouse, pre-build all the extraction programs and load programs and all the analytics and dashboards that go with it. This is a look at the FDI console. This is where your administrator would go in and perform these various functions. What we've created is a little matrix here. So it's got a little bit more information that tells you exactly what that feature function does on the console. And we're going to reference back to this throughout today's presentation. When we look at the FDI data pipeline, this is the data pipeline infrastructure, or DPI, is actually how the data comes over from your Fusion applications. All this is pre-built for you. This will automatically grab the application data from your instance of FDI. It actually gets paired to that instance and then brings the data over into the data warehouse. Here's a more detailed, blown up view of that diagram. Now, the primary components of this are the autonomous data warehouse in Oracle Analytics Cloud. There is a notable difference. These products exist as standalone products, and then they exist within the construct of FDI. Where they exist as standalone products, they are updated once every 2 months. Where they exist within the construct of FDI, they are updated in sequence with the Fusion application, so on a quarterly basis. So just to be aware that if you have an existing instance of OAC that you want to incorporate into an FDI implementation, that there's some coordination that needs to be done there as far as the patch release levels of where the application is and where the product is. This is an illustration of the ready-to-use Oracle managed components of FDI, whereas the right side would represent any custom content or anything you would extend beyond Oracle applications or any of the Oracle applications where there isn't delivered content today. Looking at the delivered content, Oracle's done a great job of producing this Content Explorer feature, which allows you to look through and examine all of the delivered content for FDI. As of today, there are 5 application areas, 24 modules, 84 subject areas, and over 3,000 metrics. So when you go to the Content Explorer, what it allows you to do is filter down through and just examine the content that would be relevant to you and what you want to implement. And we think this is excellent and hasn't been available in the past with Oracle BI applications or any of the previous pre-built data warehouses. This here again is the same thing. What it's meant to illustrate is that from Q2 to Q3, we saw over 3 metrics added to FDI. So again, this is updated on a quarterly basis along with Fusion applications, so you can continue to see this built out. Originally, it was produced with 4 application areas, and the most recent addition as of Q2 was the FAH, or the Financial Accounting Hub. So again, a nice filter interface which allows you to drill down into either all the applications and all the modules and all the subject areas and the metrics, or just select the ones that are relevant to you. And again, has all of the published and ready to, for you to do your analysis. Key metrics all published as a part of this Content Explorer. We think it's fantastic. This is just an illustration of how you would go through that menu. It is a little hanky in that in some cases when you first go into the Content Explorer, you have to actually force it to go out and select all the subject area. From a few times, or the times when I've gone into it, it seems like it's defaulting to either one subject area or 0. But so just be aware when you go in, you've got to tell it to bring up all the content. There's also the ability to export it. As much as I love the interface for the Content Explorer, I find it challenging to think about how I would conduct a fit gap analysis using it, within the interface. So they do provide you an export, and you can export it to Excel. And I think it's better for analysis there. And I actually did it and found the ability to sort it and manipulate it much more in alignment with how I would approach doing a fit gap. It's more of an overview dashboard which involves multiple metrics and visualizations. And we have personas and subject area detail. So again, Oracle's done a great job of breaking it down and providing you a Content Explorer. This is an illustration of the content and how it's grown over time, and we're continuing to see this grow. As I suggested, from Q2 to Q3, we saw over 300 additional analytic metrics added to it. And then from Q1 to Q2, we saw the addition of a new application, or the Financial Accounting Hub subject area. So implementation approach. Having a lot of experience across pre-built data warehouses, including PeopleSoft EPM, Oracle BI applications, both Informatica version and ODI version. We've seen people do Big Bang approach, where they want to implement all of the seeded content from the pre-built data warehouse and at the same time tackle custom content. We have not seen a client yet that implemented a pre-built data warehouse where it satisfied 100% of their needs. There's always been some instance of where they needed external data to come in to satisfy 100% of the reporting requirements, and or there may have been an external component to part of their HCM application. As an example, in the state of California has an external payroll with the state, so you wouldn't have any payroll data in an Oracle application because that's coming from the state payroll system. So that would have to be accounted for in FDI as custom content versus delivered. So anyway, what we've seen is Again, you can do a big bang approach, which is going to take a lot longer before you actually see any traction. We think a better approach is to take it iteratively, do more of a small proof of value, proof of concept, maybe at an executive level. And then once you kind of gain some momentum and confidence in the product set and the delivered content, then continue to grow that out and then ultimately build it out for custom. Implementation steps. So the first step in the process is to activate and create the FDI instance. We like to suggest there is some important steps here that need to be paid attention to. But the first step is activating your instance, setting up and configuring it, and it has to be tied to or paired to your Fusion application environment. Secondly, you're going to configure your data pipeline and validate the data. And then you're going to configure and validate your security. It's going to piggyback off of any application security that you've created in Fusion applications. But if there are some roles in people that need security that needs to be created within FDI, it can be done after the fact. And then you're going to deploy it. Once everything's validated in the non-prod instance, you migrate that to prod. And Fusion Data Intelligence comes with two environments, one for development or non-prod and prod. So activation FDI steps. You have to have the UCC subscription. An active UCC subscription must exist in the cloud account, which is used to activate your Oracle FDI instance. And if it doesn't exist, subscribe and activate UCCC for the account first. Then you activate your Oracle FDI subscription. After the FDI subscription order is processed, your administrator or whoever processes that will get the welcome email to activate it. If your goal is to use single sign-on to access Oracle FDI, then set up and provisioning with single sign-on before you proceed with the instance creation. And that's a key critical step where if you don't do it in that order, you're going to have some challenges. Now, create an FDI instance. If you're provisioned with SSO, the instance needs to be created within the Federated Identity Cloud Services, else the instance can be created in the default Identity Cloud Services that is available within FDI. An email is received by your cloud account admin once the FDI instance is created. Now, OCI regions. It is very important that your FDI instance is co-located in the same region with your Fusion applications. So the best case scenario is that your Fusion application is in the same region with your application. An acceptable scenario is where one is co-located within the same continent, or some proximity that's not global. If we look into the problematic scenarios for how these things are done, that would be to have an application instance in Tokyo and then an FDI instance in Chicago. Best case scenario, acceptable scenarios, and problematic scenarios. And here's just a blown up view of that to make it a little easier to see. So each Fusion Analytics environment is paired with an Oracle Fusion Cloud Applications environment. You compare a Fusion Analytics non-prod environment with any of the Oracle Fusion Applications non-prod environments. FDI prerequisites in Fusion apps. Oracle FDI is the main source of data for FDI. There are prerequisites to complete within Fusion, ERP, CX, or any of the pillars before you can import accurate data in FDI in the data warehouse. The following are some examples of the configurations that need to be completed depending on the application. So you have to go into the enterprise calendar across all the Fusion applications. Exchange rates have to be configured for ERP, financial categories from ERP, and then age bands from Oracle HCM. So all these things are prerequisites before you can bring the data over from the application into FDI, even though that data pipeline is pre-built. Again, a reference back to the console and data configuration. So again, you do that or initiate that from the console. Configuration comprises of data configuration, reporting configuration, and security configuration. So Oracle Cloud Infrastructure configurations comprise of access configuration for Fusion Analytics with private endpoints, And then network security configuration for Fusion Analytics. Data validation, again, this is a reference back to the console. Oracle delivered functionality. It compares metrics between your Fusion Analytics instance and your Oracle Transactional Business Intelligence instance. It's important to have the same access level for users in Oracle Fusion Cloud applications and the Fusion Analytics warehouse. And these are actual screenshot interfaces of what that looks like within FDI. Security. So it's all done within Identity Cloud Services. And again, this will mirror your application security setup that you've already done in Fusion applications and can be further custom within FDI. User access Oracle Fusion Analytics Warehouse must exist in Oracle Identity Cloud Services. They can either be synchronized or you can create them new in IDCS, which is what I just said. You've got system groups, which provide users the access to navigate through FAW, and at least one system group must be assigned to a user. We've had a couple clients, in communication with us said, hey, we set everything up, but my end user's not seeing any data. And in those instances, what we found is they just missed a step of actually creating a system group for that person. So that's why they weren't seeing any of the data. So FAW licensed ERP consumers would be an example of a system group. So job roles are synchronized again from Fusion applications into Identity Cloud Services, and they consist of one or more application roles. Application roles consist of duties and data roles. Duty roles define the duties of the job entity. Maybe it's an accounts payable clerk, accounts receivable clerk. Data roles provide access to the row level data in the warehouse tables. So data security assignments apply data filters to display only the data corresponding to the security assignment values assigned to that user. Create users in IDCS if the users don't already exist in Fusion applications. License the users to access Fusion Analytics Warehouse, or what's now FDI, by assigning them the system groups, and then create custom groups and application roles as required. Associate users to custom or prerequisite job-specific duties, and add security assignments for the predefined security content to a user to ensure data access. Security bundles. This includes custom groups, custom application roles, and custom security. Content bundles. This includes snapshots of the Oracle Analytics Cloud folders, project data set definitions, duty roles for content, and report parameters. Composite bundles. This includes one or more of the other bundles, and then environment bundles. So these are different ways that the system can be deployed, either all in one shot or in segmented bundles. Okay. Conclusion. Oracle owns and maintains the delivered FDI data pipeline. FDI is extendable and customizable at every level of the stack. Updates are maintained by Oracle. This includes customizations if done following the process outlined by Oracle. And you can't not modify or extend the delivered ETL jobs or semantic models delivered with the FDI, but you can create custom and incorporate that for your custom content. We know you have choices and really appreciate your time and attention today, and welcome you back for future TechCast. Thank you very much.